to order this morning, would you say a prayer?
I will, thank you. You ready? Good morning, everyone. If you will, please bow your heads. Most gracious Father, thank you again for another wonderful, beautiful day. It is our blessing from you that we appreciate everything that you have done. Please guide us in the right direction of making the correct choices. That is, we are human, so if there are errors, then we offer our apologies. And it's always said to err is human and to forgive is divine. So dear Lord, please bless everyone in this room and everyone across this country and the world. For we know not what tomorrow will bring, but we are thankful for this day. In Jesus' name, I do pray for all. Amen.
We are ready to go on record now. The Board of Nursing is made up of 13 members. There are 7 RNs, 4 LPNs, 1 physician, and 1 consumer. Today, we are a 3-member panel of the board with Ms. Nancy Norris serving as an alternate. But she will not participate in either the deliberations or any of the decisions concerning the cases. The board members we have present today are Ms. Shirley Jackson, Mr. Ed Wiggins from the Attorney General's office. I'm Dr. Teresa Stanford, and to my right is Ms. Nancy Wiggins.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It stayed there. I would also like to introduce Brett Thompson, who is the staff attorney, as well as Mr. Wesley Mutziger.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Wiggins. I'll be serving as the hearing officer for today. My role is to direct the course of these proceedings, to rule on objections to questions or evidence raised by the parties to the hearing, to see the orderly process of proceedings, and that the proceedings are conducted in accordance with applicable laws and rules. We've had the introduction of our board members. At this time, I would just like to note that these hearings are open to the public. We will have opening statements. Cases will be allowed by the licensee as well as the state. Cross-examination as well as direct examination will be allowed. At the conclusion of the presentation of both sides, closing statements will be allowed. The board panel will have an opportunity to ask questions. They will make findings of fact and conclusions of law, and will render its decision in the matter, a copy of which will be forwarded to the applicant or the licensee. At this time, the first matter before the board, license number P330818. Council, are there any preliminary matters?
There are, and for that, I would call Mr. Floyd Wiley.
You solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Please state your name for the record.
Floyd Wiley,
And in what capacity are you here today, Mr. Wiley?
as bailiff.
And as bailiff, have you made a determination of whether Roy Weeks is present and available for his hearing?
Yes, I have.
And what have you done to make that determination?
I checked the computer to see if he had signed in on the Zoom meeting. He was not listed as a participant. I checked the front of the building, called his name 5 times, no response. Went to the back of the building, called his name 5 times with no response. I checked the respondent sign-in sheet. He has not signed in. I checked the visitor's log. He has not signed.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. I now direct your attention to Exhibit B2, not yet entered into evidence. Mr. Wiley, would you please identify for the record Exhibit B2?
There's the computer printout of the licensure of Roy Weeks.
And on Exhibit B2, is there a primary address indicated for Mr. Weeks?
Yes, it is.
And what is that?
It is 883 Spain Road, Ecru, Mississippi.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. I now want to direct your attention to Exhibit B5, not yet entered into evidence. Would you please identify For the record, Exhibit B5.
It is a notice of today's hearing for Mr. Weeks.
Okay, and so this complaint and notice of hearing was sent to the same address as you just indicated in Exhibit B2, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And I now want to direct your attention to what is attached to Exhibit B5. Mr. Wiley, would you identify that, please?
It is a letter from the State Board of Nursing addressed to Mr. Weeks that wasn't able to be delivered.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wiley. And in fact, there's a yellow label affixed to this envelope. Would you please read for the record what is identified on that label?
Return to sender, not deliverable as addressed, unable to forward.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Can you further confirm that the certified mail number on this envelope returned to the Board of Nursing, in fact, matches the certified mail number on the front page, the notice of hearing of Exhibit B5?
Yes, the numbers do match.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Wiley, I would direct your attention to Exhibit B14 not yet entered into evidence. Would you please identify for the record Exhibit B14?
It is a proof of publication affidavit.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Would you please further identify in what publication this affidavit's referring?
The Pontotoc Progress.
Okay, thank you. And in examining this affidavit, Mr. Wiley, would you please read for the record to whom it is noticing and at what time and location it's directing this person to appear?
It is addressed to Roy Weeks, and he was to appear June the 17th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, and can you lastly confirm whether or not this was published for 3 consecutive weeks? And if so, what are those dates?
We have April the 16th, 2021.
It's in one moment, it's very awkward the way that this is actually styled. So I believe that would be volume 93, number 16 on the
Okay, so as far as
the dates.
it was, the dates are April the 21st, 2021, which was number 16 of volume 93. Second one was April the 28th, 2021, and May the 5th, 2021.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Wiley. At this time, the state would move to proceed with this matter as all statutory requirements for notice have been met.
You may proceed.
Thank you. The state would ask that exhibits B1 through B15 be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted.
Thank you. The state would rest on its pleadings.
All right, thank you, counsel. Anything further on this matter?
Nothing further on this case.
The next matter before the board panel, license number R799643. Are there any preliminary matters regarding this one, counsel?
There are, and for that, I would call Floyd Wiley.
Testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Please state your name for the record.
Floyd Wiley,
And in what capacity are you here today, Mr. Wiley?
bailiff.
And as bailiff, have you made a determination of whether Rebecca Box is present and available for her hearing?
Yes, I have.
And what have you done to make that determination?
I checked the computer to see if she was signed in on the Zoom meeting as a participant. She was not. I went to the front of the building, called her name 5 times for no response. Back to the building, called her name 5 times for no response. I checked the respondent sign-in sheet. She has not signed in. I checked the visitor's log. She has not signed.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. And now I want to direct your attention to Exhibit B2, not yet entered into evidence. Would you please identify Exhibit B2 for the record?
It is the computer printout of the licensure of Rebecca Box.
And on Exhibit B2, is there a primary address indicated for Ms. Box?
Yes, it is.
What is that?
It's 809 Raymond Williams Road, Sturgis, Mississippi.
Thank you. I now want to direct your attention to Exhibit B5, not yet entered into evidence. Mr. Wiley, please identify for the record Exhibit B5.
It is a notice of today's hearing addressed to Rebecca Box.
Okay, and can you confirm, Mr. Wiley, that the address for this notice of hearing, in fact, matches the address you just read for the record in Exhibit B2?
Yes, the addresses are identical.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Wiley, just to confirm, this notice of hearing is for what date and time?
Today's date, Thursday, June the 17th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you. And I now want to direct your attention, Mr. Wiley, to two items affixed to Exhibit B5 at the back. Let's start with the first item. Would you identify that for the record, please?
It is a proof of service green card addressed to Rebecca Box.
Thank you. And can you confirm firstly that the address on this green card indicating service of process matches the address on Exhibit B5 and the first page of Exhibit B5, as well as the primary address listed on Exhibit B2?
Yes, all three addresses do match.
Excellent, thank you. Can you further confirm that the certified mail number on this green card matches the certified mail number listed on the front page of Exhibit B5?
Yes, the numbers do match.
And they end in what, please?
7291.
Excellent, thank you. Lastly, I would direct your attention to the final page affixed to Exhibit B5. Would you please identify for the record what that is?
It's a USPS tracking document.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. And can you confirm that the tracking number listed on the USPS tracking document in fact matches the tracking number on the green card as well as the front page of Exhibit B5?
All three numbers are identical, yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, in examining this document, Mr. Wiley, would you please read for the record the status of this tracking for this mailing?
Okay, it reads your item was delivered to an individual at the address at 10:30 a.m. on May the 21st, 2021 in Sturgis. Delivered, left with the individual.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Wiley. At this time, the state would move to proceed with this matter as all statutory requirements for notice have been met.
You may proceed.
Thank you. The state would ask that exhibits B1 through B18 be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted.
Thank you. The state would rest on its pleadings.
All right, thank you, counsel. Anything further on this matter?
Nothing further on this matter.
Is there anything further to come before the board panel this morning?
There is. Not appearing on the docket today is going to be the matter of Miss Alexis Wallace. That is going to be license number P-330393, case number 2020-0804. Originally, we did not have service of process for Ms. Wallace, therefore she was not included on the docket. However, Ms. Wallace has submitted a voluntary surrender of her license, which she has executed for consideration by this board hearing panel today.
All right, thank you, counsel. Anything further for the panel to consider this?
That would conclude the matters for the state for today.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for the board to go into closed determination to determine whether executive session is necessary regarding deliberation on the following matters: P-330818, R-799-643, P-330393.
Make a motion to go into closed determination to the executive session.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion for the board to exit to executive session for deliberation on the aforementioned matters. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. The board panel will now exit to executive session for deliberation. We shall return once we have made decisions regarding these matters. Thank you. We are back on the record. At this time, I will entertain a motion for the board to exit executive session.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The board panel is now back in regular session. The board panel, following this deliberation, renders the following. Regarding license number P 330-393, case number 2020-0804, the voluntary surrender is accepted. In the matter regarding license number R 799-643, based upon clear and convincing testimony and evidence admitted into the record at today's hearing, the board panel imposes the penalty of revocation. A copy of this order will be forwarded to the licensee within 2 to 4 weeks. In the matter regarding license number P 330-818, based upon clear and convincing testimony and evidence admitted into the record at today's hearing, the board panel imposes the penalty of revocation. A copy of this order will be forwarded to the licensee within 2 to 4 weeks. Council, is there anything further to come before the board panel this morning?
There's not.
Thank you, everyone, for your attendance and participation today. This will conclude the board panel's business for today. Thank you.